Get ready with me whilst I talk about why I dropped out of uni. I'm not gonna lie, for me, I actually never wanted to go to uni. I never saw myself going to uni, but after I finished my A-levels, I honestly just felt like I didn't really have much choice apart from to go to uni. I know there are so many other options out there and I've definitely learned more about them now, but at the time, it just kind of felt very normalised. All my friends were going to uni, but it is also a lot of money and a lot of debt to get into, and if you aren't even enjoying your course and it's not really leading you to anywhere, then it's like, is it worth it? Another big thing for me is I felt really trapped. As I said, I've always wanted to have my own business and I've always been very independent, and the idea of being in education, having to go to lessons at certain times, having to listen to certain teachers and make notes on exactly what they wanted you to, there wasn't really any freedom with it, and I just wasn't getting any fulfillment out of my course whatsoever, and I knew there were so many other things that I could do that would just be so much more beneficial and that I would enjoy a lot more. And this is something that I've never really spoken about, but I also just wasn't a fan of the massive drinking culture. Now don't get me wrong, I do love a night out, and in 2025 I was going out almost every night while I was traveling, and I know I'm only 20 and I'm super young, but for me I just feel like I've done it so much. I've done all the nights out, I've gone to so many clubs and all these different events, and doing it every single night at uni, I just wasn't getting any enjoyment out of it anymore. I just felt horrible the next day and I was just like, this isn't worth it. The actual decision to drop out was really difficult. I kind of knew literally from the second week. I rang my mum up and I was like, I don't want to be here, I don't like this, I don't enjoy my course. Also, if you don't drop out within 2 weeks, you have to pay for the whole first term, so I did end up having to do that, but I was like, I do want to give it a little bit longer to try it out. But it got to a point where I just wasn't going to my lectures, and I know sometimes there can be so many voices going on in your head and you're not really sure which one is the actual one to listen to, but usually there is one that is deep down just the loudest, and that is usually your gut talking, and that is what you should be listening to. I think another thing that's difficult to deal with is just the not knowing, not having that set path that you know you're going to go down. But one thing I have learned since dropping out is just our ability to adapt with change. I think sometimes it can be very hard to see how you would deal with that change while you're still in that situation, and sometimes you won't know how to deal with it until you make that decision and you are kind of forced to adapt to it. But just know that there are so many other options out there, and you may have to do a little bit more research. It may not be as clear cut as the uni path, but uni is definitely not the be all and end all. So if any of you are also going through the same kind of thing, thinking of dropping out or dropped out or not really sure what path to take next, let me know in the comments. I'll do videos replying to all the comments, and make sure to follow to see more similar videos like this.